All right, I'm ready when you are, bro.
All right, it just started. All right, everybody, this is the Bowtie Boss here. It's casual Saturday, so I'm not doing the bow tie thing. I'm just over here chilling in my office, picking my teeth, and I get the pleasure of talking to none other than Ill Will Brooks, who was just recently announced that on my birthday, November 15th, 2014, he's got a rematch against Michael
Yes,
Chandler.
sir.
Now, if you guys don't know, Will Brooks is the interim lightweight world champion for Bellator, or I mean, so I thought, man. I was there. I saw a fight. I saw somebody put a belt around your waist. The first question that everybody has, man, is what's the status with that title?
Yo, I honestly, I wish I could tell everybody what's the status with that title. I thought I was gonna move into the champion spot. It's Eddie Alvarez. What isn't around anymore? I'm not able to fight him. He took off to the UFC. He's got a fight coming up. Best of luck to him. But I figured since the throne is empty and I've got a crown, and I'd step in and take the seat. But they didn't want to have it like that. They didn't want to set it up like that. So what they're pretty much doing is having a vacant belt, and then me and Michael Chandler are fighting for the belt. So my belt, really, I don't even know what it is. I think it's just something to remind me that I beat Chandler once. Now I get to go beat him again. They go give me another belt. Or I don't know if I keep this belt. I don't know what's going on, man.
You keep it on your mantle next to those trophies that you got for Little League for participation or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is now, man. It's the award for the kid that like just played well. He wasn't first place, but he participated. He did a good job. He was a good sport, pretty much. That's what this belt is to me now.
Now, it's not just my feelings and probably not just yours. I mean, I've seen it on just looking on Twitter, man. Half of the reporters that even spoke about this thing so far, they don't understand. First of all, they didn't understand Bellator having an interim title to begin with. And then if you're going to do it, why half-ass it, right? So they're saying, hey, if you're going to give the guy an interim title and the guy who held the other piece of it disappeared, why is that not now a complete championship? So I've seen a couple of, what's it, MMA Report, and Jason Floyd and a couple other guys out there are writing stuff about it. Did you get any insight from like Bjorn Rebney before they gave him the boot as to what the thought was behind the interim title to begin with, and then what their overall goal was? It to do with that interim title and you in particular?
You know what, man? I never got any answers as far as like why there was an interim title that was put up in the first place. I think what had happened was I think they had a thought or an idea that Alvarez is going to be out a little bit longer, just because they were thinking that his concussion was pretty serious, and you never want to rush anybody back from that. So nobody knew if he was going to be able to come back quickly. So I think that was kind of like their idea was to have this interim title and just kind of throw some extra stuff out there. It would have been easy just to have me and Chandler just fight, and just fight just to fight, But it was a lot more interesting and a lot more exciting for me and Chandler and the fans to throw in this interim title. I think it was just another way to throw a curveball at it, promote the fight a little bit more, and especially when they lost their main event fight for the pay-per-view card, they wanted to keep something going, keep the promotion value going, and I think that's what they did with the interim belt.
Right. Now I get the feeling, and I'm sure you got this feeling, and fuck man, everybody's got this feeling, is that nobody other than you and your people wanted you to win this fight. I think the initial fight, that is, Tapology had you something like 97% for Chandler and 3% for you. And you basically went in there and, I mean, you rained on a fucking parade, man. What do you think was their thought at the end of that fight when those judges gave you the nod?
Yo, I mean, I think if I was I'm being completely honest about it. I think there were some people in the background that was shocked. They were surprised. They didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to do. They didn't want to. They didn't want to. They didn't want to. Make themselves look bad, but they were surprised. They didn't know what was going on, and then you can also see it in Chandler's face in between the rounds when he was looking back at me. he was shocked and surprised. He had no idea that I was going to come out there and push him so far. He thought he was coming out just to have a fight, just to fill a spot and just run right through me. But again, if people go back and watch the fight and watch him walking back to his corner in between rounds, that look of concern, I believe that's what the people in the background who actually knew or thought that I was going to lose that fight, that's the same look that they had, And, it was fun, man. It was fun raining on people's parade, man. That's one thing that I get up for, I love being the underdog. I love when people try to set me up for the downfall, I love doing it. I show up for it. That's what gets my blood going. So if they want to continue to keep pressing my buttons and pushing my buttons and putting me in these positions where they want me to rise to the occasion, please continue to do that, because that's when you see the best of Will Brooks, and it's only going to put Chandler in the worst position, because he's got to catch that beating,
Yeah, that's a great segue, man, because that's where I was going to next. Is that it seems like they're again getting to the point, and they being Bellator, just anybody in general, is that it feels like they might feel that the first fight was a fluke. Chandler took it on a week's notice, change of opponent, and didn't really know what he was in store for, had a back injury, blah, blah, blah. He woke up short that morning. It was raining in Northern California. Who knows what the excuses could be, but it seems like they had something else on their mind, and they're trying to right a wrong on November 15th. Do you feel like they are putting you back in that position again, saying you got to prove yourself to win a title that you've already proved yourself, but basically saying, hey, you didn't in our eyes, do it again?
Yeah, no, man. I mean, look, this is one thing that I believe this is how life goes, man. Life is going to put you in different situations to test your character. In this situation, life is putting individuals in front of me to test my resolve, test my character. And I'm going to approach it the same way I did the first time, man. I'm going to go out there and have fun, have a big old smile on my face while I'm smashing Michael Chandler. I'm going to be looking around. I'm going to be looking at some of the stunned faces. And I'm going to just sit there and smile at them, bro, because this is who I am as a person. I wake up for this stuff. I go to the gym and I train every single day, 2 to 3 times a day, just for these moments, just for these opportunities to go out there and be like, well, look at me now, now what you gonna do now, like one of those nana boo boo situations, like now what, like what else can you do? But that's just how I roll, man. That's how I feel, and I don't know, man. Sorry, man. Those are my dogs.
It seems like they're getting riled up about this fight too, man.
My girl's coming in the door right now. So whenever they hear somebody, at the door, they go crazy. But anyway,
I just felt it was one of those things when they hear you talking about Chandler, they start to get a little amped up.
Nah, they got a little amped up when I was talking about Eddie Alvarez for a little bit. But nah, they tripping right now. But yeah, no, man, they hold on. They're going crazy, man. Hey! My fault, man. My dogs are crazy, man. They get protective when they don't know who's coming in the door. But somebody's beating on my door right now. But anyways, yeah, man. Like, I'm ready for Chandler. I'm ready for whatever they would put in front of me. I've been waiting for these opportunities. This is what I get up for. My girl's beating at the door. She can't open the door or something. I don't know. She'll figure it out.
If you want to go get that, I'll prep everybody for the next round of questions that I got for you. We'll edit that out.
I'll be right back, man.
All right. So it looks like we got one viewer. So it's only one of you guys that's actually going to see me sit here and talk about nothing for a little bit. And I don't know, my dog doesn't bark, so I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. We'll see how this kind of turns out here. Let's see, what is Will pointing us to? His comic book collection over there? What are we seeing? I'm gonna click on that. It's got some Captain America out there, a little Thor, a little Iron Man. Okay. Little Ninja Turtles in the background. All right, this is not typically what you would expect to see in a fighter's office, but we'll get back to it.
Hey, all right, I'm back, man. Anyways, but that's the type of situations. Those are situations that I get up for, man. Like when curveballs are thrown at me, I'm always ready. But yeah, man, my girl was trying to get in the house. But anyways, man. But you know what, bro? I'm ready for this fight. I'm ready to get in there and smash Chandler. That's all it's about. It's not about these titles or figuring out this or figuring out that. It's just being able to get out there and earn, like, not even earn my respect, but show people that you're not just go walk on me. You're not gonna try to set me up and put me in the fire and think that I'm a burn. Like, it's just not gonna happen like that. And I'm gonna come out this thing unscathed again, while Chandler's gonna be at home trying to heal up again and making all the excuses in the world and why he didn't show up. I'm gonna be back at home chilling and enjoying my life, you know.
Now, do you feel like he came in that first fight without any real kind of game plan, where he just started going to come in and out wrestle you and get you out of there, or was it? Or is it just the fact that Chandler always fights the exact same fight every single time?
I think he's the same dude every single time. I think one thing that people was getting really hyped on was the fact that he was knocking guys out. But the thing is, he wasn't fighting like athletes, you know. He wasn't fighting guys that was pretty damn athletic that could match him at that level, you know. So I think when he had to come in and fight me, he had to change his mindset. You know, he thought he was just gonna come in and be able to out wrestle me and lay on me, but I changed that quickly. You know, in the first 2 rounds, you know, he definitely out wrestled me, but in the back of my mind, being that I'm an intelligent fighter, I knew that Chandler, he doesn't have a good gas tank. You know, he always burns out. So I wanted to allow him to burn himself out wrestling, and then after a while, you see that I flipped the tables on him, and he wasn't ready for that. And that's because he's a very one-dimensional guy. He doesn't have that ability to freestyle in situations where he's not the front runner. You know, he doesn't know how to build himself back from it, and I think I exposed that. And also, I think, you know, one thing that he had an excuse for was saying that he had a back injury and blah blah blah. Bro, we're all hurt. Like, I can't remember the last time I went into a fight and I was 100% ready to go. You know, like, it's just not. It just doesn't happen like that. I mean, I went through the lightweight tournament with a jacked up rib, a jacked up shoulder. And I had hurt my knee. I had wanted to get an MRI on my knee, and God bless it, I didn't tear my ACL. I didn't tear anything in my knee, but I was jacked
Knuckle
up.
was all busted up too, right?
What's up?
You had a busted up knuckle too for two of those fights.
Yeah, my right hand, my knuckle was all jacked up, man. I was all busted up, but I never took one time to complain or make any excuses. I just showed up and did my job, you know, and I came out with W's, you know. I was coming out, even though I had to really focus on wrestling, I was smashing dudes' faces. Unlike Chandler, like, he wanted to lay on me for 2 rounds straight and just lay there. He wasn't trying to create damage, but, you know, I think that's him being one-dimensional. That's him not knowing what to do when there's a guy in front of him that has, like, athleticism and speed and explosion and, like, all these different things. He doesn't know what to do with that.
Now, do you think he's going to go back to the gym and actually work on new things, or is he going to go back to the gym and excuse it away to say, hey, look, I wasn't prepared, you know, I'm mentally prepared for fighting this guy and I was hurt and I really didn't, you know, I wasn't the real Michael Chandler? Or do you think he's going to go back and say, you know what, let me look at this thing, this kid came out and beat me, let me fix something?
You know what? I'm not sure, man. I think with a guy like that, I think a lot of it is his ego also. I think even if he was to go back in the gym and decide that he's going to change something in regards to his strategy or what he brings or his skill set, I think his ego, come fight night, his ego will kick in. His ego won't allow him to, you know, implement the new techniques, implement the new skills that he's learned in the gym. I think, again, his ego will kick in, and the fact that he knows that I'm more than willing to freestyle and go all sorts of different directions and make him really, really have to dig deep, you know. So Who knows, man? I think the fact that I'm willing and I'm able to make him dig deep, I think is going to take his mind off of any new things that he's working on in the gym. He's going to go back to what he knows, and he's going to try to wrestle me. And again, I'm going to pancake him every single time. Every single time he takes a shot, I'm going to pancake him. I'm going to make him hurt. I'm going to punish him for every mistake that he makes. I'm going to force him to go back to what he knows best. And unfortunately for him, I'm a pretty damn good wrestler too, you know. So I didn't wrestle collegiately, but my athleticism and my explosiveness allows me to be a pretty decent wrestler, you know.
Yep. Now, for everybody, you know, whether you saw the fight or not, I mean, clearly Michael Chandler, you know, he took you down kind of at will in the first 2 rounds, but when he was there, didn't really capitalize, wasn't able to. You stuffed a lot of the work that he was doing, and between the second and third rounds, him going back to his corner, when you say you're smiling and you can see how dead tired he is, you know, are you looking at he's going to try the same thing this time, or is he not even going to get those takedowns this time?
You know, when I looked at him and saw him going back to the corner, and when I felt his energy, being like when we were on the ground, when we were in the cage, I felt his energy. I felt his energy. I saw his face. I saw the way he was carrying himself. I looked over in between rounds while he was sitting on a stool, and it just looked like he looked lost. Like he didn't know what else to do. You know, he had nothing else. His striking wasn't there. His wrestling wasn't working for him anymore. I was taking his back at will, and I wasn't just taking his back. I was taking his back and putting 4 ounces of leather on his face, you know, and putting elbows on his face. And I think that changed his whole entire mindset. You know, the fact that I was going to kick and punch him and elbow him everywhere, standing up on the bottom, off my back. I was trying to hit him with elbows, trying to punch him. I was constantly trying to hurt him. And I think that's one thing that's going to be in the back of his mind is that everything he does, he's going to pay for it. He's going to pay for it. He may land that takedown, but he's going to pay for it because he's going to gas himself out. And then once I feel him gas out, he's going to feel my pressure. He's going to feel me rise up while he's falling down, and I'm going to crush him. And I think that's the one thing, like, I felt that fight. It was like he doesn't know how to make adjustments.
Right. Now, after that fight, you walked out of that cage with a bump on your head, a smile on your face, and a belt around your waist. He went out of the cage. I mean, his face was tore up. He had a monster in his hand and a family consoling him. Do you think that that's going to push him harder to say, you know, I need to get this shit back. I need to go in and fight that much harder to get all of that stuff that I don't have back?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Personally, the way I said, and you know, I've always been a very observant person my entire life. I'm not the most book smart guy in the world. I got a lot of street smarts, common sense, and I'm observant. And I watch. I'm a people watcher, and over the years, I feel like I've gotten a pretty good grasp on reading people based off what I see and what I observe. And I think with Chandler, he's spent a lot of his life being handed things, you know, being pumped up, having his ego boosted all the time. So I think what's going to happen is he didn't feel like he lost that fight, you know, because he had the people around him to like boost his ego, pump his ego, give him reasons why he wasn't ready for that fight. And I get it. We all need those people in our corner to be like, you know what, we'll come back, you'll get it next time. But I don't know if he has those type of people. I think he has the people that are yes men, that are being like, bro, you didn't lose that fight, you won that fight. Like, you got this excuse and this excuse and this excuse and this reason and this reason. But he's got those people in his corner. I don't have those people. I have people in my corner that are going to tell me, "Yo, you suck right now. You need to get it together. Like, what are you doing?" Those are the people that I have in my corner. Those are the people that I walk with. You know, I don't mess with yes men. He's got a bunch of yes men, and they're going to pump his ego up with artificial things. You know, with artificial things, not real life facts. They're going to pump him up off of things that they're creating out of thin air. You know, like, but I think that's going to hurt him because he doesn't know what real. He doesn't know what real like real support is, like real uplifting support is. Like I know, like I got people in my corner. Again, I got people in my corner, if I lose a fight, they have no problem with telling me that, yo, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. Like, you didn't get it done. That's it. I don't have anybody that's going to say, oh, well, you'll get him next time, champ. Like, you were hurt or this or that. It don't work like that. So I think he's going to have a disadvantage in that area.
Gotcha. So switching gears then to those people that say, you know, whatever it is, I mean, the internet is an amazing place, and Twitter especially, where everybody's just the nicest human being on earth. They never have a single negative thing to say about you. But I think you really know when you've made it when somebody makes a Twitter handle. I think of something like, what, Will Brooks sucks?
Yeah,
so, you got those people out there that are saying, you know, hey, Brooks, you're too black, and you know, you lost that fight, and the Sears Tower is the worst thing ever. You know, all this crazy shit that they're just coming up with. Do you feel like that helps you more and helps motivate you more? Is that crazy world that we call the internet?
Yo, no, man. Honestly, it doesn't help me. It doesn't affect me at all. I think honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with it. To be honest, man, I think it's hilarious, bro. Like, I think that's one thing that I've been blessed with is a good sense of humor, and I don't take anything to heart. You know, I spend majority of my days I spend making fun of something, or making fun of somebody I know, or something that I do, or making fun of myself, or making fun of my girl. So this is my life, man. So what they do on Twitter and what they say on Twitter, I've probably said majority of those things to myself, like just messing with myself and joking around with myself and messing with my girl. Like it's hard to affect someone who's got a really good sense of humor and who's connected to the world a little bit, connected to the world around them. You know, I'm connected to the things that are happening around me because I only try to control the things that I can control. Like, I can only go to the gym and train as hard as I possibly can. I can't control what the other person does. I can't control what people say, what people think. All I can do is control my world, you know, and when I do that, when I focus on me, when I center myself, beautiful things happen for me, man. When I'm thinking positive and I'm projecting positive, even when people are projecting negative at me, I still receive positive energies, you know, and positive things in my life happen. So I'm never affected by the negative things, you know, because it's all jokes to me, man. It's all people that I guess don't have anything better to do with themselves. And actually, some of the things that people say are actually really funny. Like funny stuff that people say, so I can't do nothing but laugh sometimes. Because when I stop and think about it as a regular person and not the fighter, I'm like, yo, that was pretty damn funny. Like, I can't be mad at that. So I just laugh about it, man. It's all fun and games.
So on to the training aspect of it. I mean, you're an American Top Team. You know, probably, arguably the biggest and the best gym out there. You know, who do you work with primarily, and what are you learning on a daily basis around there?
Oh man, well, as far as coaches go, I got a handful of coaches that I work with. I work with Coach Kami, our wrestling coach, one of our head coaches, Conan, Master Laborio. That I think everybody knows who Master Laborio is. He's a guy that I work very closely with as far as my coaching staff. Brian Harris, my strength and conditioning coach. I have a handful of different coaches that I work with on different occasions. I got Mikey Rod, my boxing coach that is out here, since my boxing coach and my strategist is back in Illinois. So I got my guy out here. I got a handful of coaches that I go to for different things in different areas of this sport. But my training partners, man, I'm working with monsters every single day, man. There's new faces every single day. But the main guys that, off the top of my head, that I consistently train with is guys like Dustin Poirier. He's a featherweight fighter in the UFC right now. He's fighting Conor McGregor coming up in September 27th. I spar with Robbie Lawler sometimes, man. Even though he's a welterweight, that dude's a tank. I spar with him. I do a lot of work with George Masvidal, who's a lightweight in the UFC. I got a handful of guys that I train with consistently. But again, being that we are an American Top Team, we have all types of guys from different heights and different weight classes from different areas all over the world coming in that are high level guys, man. And I take the opportunity to train with everyone. And those guys that I named are the main guys that I consistently train with.
Right. All right. And then I see one of your training partners. You know, oddly enough, she was on the Ultimate Fighter and lost in the opening round. Man, Tisha Torres was somebody that they thought was going to win that thing.
Yeah, yeah, man. Look, man, Tisha Torres is a beast. I don't care what anybody says. I think that reality show took a little bit of a toll on her, being away from her family, being away from her friends. She's very big on family and friends and things like that. And I think that might have took a toll on her. It might have took her mind off of what she was doing. But at the end of the day, when you watch the fights, you see her potential. You see what she brings to the table. She's got some things she needs to work on. She knows that. We know that at the gym as teammates and friends and even as family. We're all like brothers and sisters at this gym. And our coaching staff, which they're pretty much like fathers to us, or uncles and fathers and things like this. So we all recognize what she needs to work on to get better. And we're going to attack it from all different sides, you know. And she's already got the striking. She's already got that viciousness in her when she's in the cage. She just got to work on the small things, and she knows she's regrouped from losing that first fight, and she's moving on. So I guess you know you figure out things from there, you know.
Now, do you feel that you can help her out in a certain way that not everybody can? In that, you know, before you fought Sadowat the first time, you were undefeated. I mean, you probably haven't even lost a game of Madden in fucking 15 years or whatever it is. You know, losing was not something you knew anything about. And then you get stopped in that fight and then just go on, you know, I mean, you've shot through the roof since then, and you're on everybody's radar today. Do you feel like you have a special insight as to what she might be going through and possibly help her and other people in that same situation out past it?
Yeah, definitely, man. I definitely do, just because part of the reason why I didn't put the work in when I fought Awad the first time. I didn't train as hard as I was supposed to train. I wasn't out here at American Top Team like I should have been at the time. I was doing my own thing. I was back home in Illinois, trying to be a part of my family's lives, you know, trying to be there for my family. And I tried to make that sacrifice, you know, and I started to realize that was hard. You know, it's hard to compete when you're so focused on your family and you can't disconnect. You know, you have a hard time. Like me, I'm a huge family guy. I'm a big family guy, and I'm always thinking about my family. So going into that fight, I wanted to be with my family, you know. So I know exactly how she was feeling. But at the same time, I started to realize once I sat down and I talked to my family and got things figured out, I realized that we have to be a little bit selfish with what we do with our lives. You know, as far as our careers go, we do have to be a little bit selfish in a controlled manner. So I think once I figured that out and once I got comfortable with that idea that, you know, my family is going to do well with me, you know, or without me being there, you know, as long as I stay in touch with them, keep connected with them, I can still go and be a little selfish in regards to my career. So I think that was something that I clicked over into. So I think I could bring that to her table and offer that little bit of assistance and tell her, look, there's going to be times where you have to be in the gym every single day. There's going to be times where you're not going to be able to see your family every single day like you want to see your family. There's going to be times where you're not going to be able to spend the time with the boyfriends and the friends and the things like that as much as you want to. And you just have to be okay with that sometimes and not feel bad about it. That I feel bad about that little bit of being selfish. You know, I think I could bring that to the table to her, and I think you know, I'm gonna definitely try to help her as far as her skills go too. You know, not just that part of it, but I think I got a few things I can offer to her, and we'll see what happens from here.
Gotcha. All right. So probably the most important question of this interview here, man, is Mayweather Maidana. Who you got and how?
Yo, I think I'm gonna have to go with Mayweather, man. I think that first fight, I think he did have a lot of things going on in his outside life, you know, and I know that people will hate to hear that. People will hate to hear about how athletes have this and that going on in their outside lives, and they hate to hear it. They want to be, they're more focused on just block it all out and go out and perform, because you're not supposed to be you're not supposed to be a regular human being like everybody else. You know, you got to be some supernatural person. You know, but that's not the case. You know, we all go through different things that affect us in our minds and in our hearts and in our souls. And it affects us, and we carry it into our jobs. We carry it into other things that we do, and I think that's what he did that fight. And I think he was trying to put on the show also. You know, he wanted to kind of drag this fight out a little bit, but I think the combination of wanting to put on a show, the combination of his outside life, really caught up with him, and it got really close to one of those situations where he came close to losing that fight because his mind wasn't in it correctly. But when you saw him turn it on, you saw him turn it on. You saw him turn into the Floyd Mayweather that who we're used to seeing, and I think this fight, he's kind of settled his life down a little bit. He's a little bit reorganized, and I think this fight he's not going to go out there and put on a show. I think he's going to go out there and put on that like when he beat Canelo, you know, he's going to go out there and be a defensive fighter, and he's going to pump that cross, he's going to slip and move and duck and dodge and just make the dude look bad. So I got Mayweather, man.
Gotcha. Now, so this is going to be, and you guys know me, this is going to be the 23rd straight time I win money on Floyd Mayweather. Anybody who has any interest in losing their money, by all means, come fucking find me, and we can figure that part out. So, you got any last words for your fans?
Yo, I just wanna thank all my fans, thank my family, my friends, my girl, my dogs, because people think I'm crazy when I thank my dogs, but man, these are men's best friend. You know, these guys are always gonna love you constantly. No, nothing in return. They're just gonna love you, and I appreciate them. They're awesome, man. When I come home from the gym. But again, I want to thank my fans, my friends, my family, my sponsors over at Beaumont out there in Illinois, Beaumont Clothing. If you're ever in Gurnee, Illinois, go check them out. I want to thank Garden of Life products. They supply me with supplements and proteins and different things like that to keep me able to go and train 2 or 3 times a day at the gym. And I want to thank Damage Control Mouth Guards for keeping my grill connected in my mouth, you know, and hooking me up with custom mouth guards. If you're ever looking for a custom mouth guard that fits perfectly in your mouth and is not going to be flopping around and falling out and different things like that, and is really going to protect you, go to Damage Control Mouth Guards and check them out. And, you know, that's it for me, I think.
All right, man. Well, it's been great chatting with you, brother. Get in there and get that work done November 15th. You guys are looking at the current, interim, future, regular, whatever, the future fucking Bellator lightweight champion.
They're looking at Will Brooks, I guess. This is just Will Brooks. That's what they're looking at. Will Brooks on a mission.
All right, baby. You heard it here. Peace, everybody.